So we're back here and we're here at day 11 of the FEM-ATHON. And so what I want to cover off as to what we're doing here today is, if you've just dropped in here or you're newer to our group, this is day 11 of a 15-day series of live streams and videos, and at the culmination of is actually a day of a masterclass. It's a 90-day masterclass in which I'm giving you 3 opportunities to enroll into the masterclass. Now, I encourage you to enroll now for the reason that when you enroll, I'm actually going to be sending you daily videos that help warm you up and juice you up and get you ready for the masterclass. Because I know that so many women out there have so many perceptions about what feminine power and energy is. They feel like they want to become more feminine, but they don't know how. They've lost confidence in their innate feminine abilities and know-how, or in fact, for all of us, a world of conditioning around what it means, what it doesn't mean, and where your power actually resides, okay? So I'm here to dispel and discuss these myths, mistakes, and misconceptions with you over this time. And essentially I'm asking the question, how the heck did we get here as women? And what do we need to do to fully embrace our feminine selves again? Now, just as we're starting here, okay, I often can't see very much without these glasses on. What's going on? I'm just putting a link in here to the masterclass so that it's easy for you to access, and I want you to be able to pin that there. You can just click on that and then you can find the time that works for you, okay? And I'm going to continue because there is much to talk about here on today's topic. So here today, I'm going to discuss this concept of this relationship between your free will and true feminine power. Now, before we go there, what I actually have to discuss with you is the antithesis of that. Essentially, that the false feminine, or in fact, the man mode orientation, doesn't have real free will inside of it. You will not experience yourself as free when you're either in man mode or if you're stuck in the false feminine. So just loosely here, I'm not going to dive into the model too deeply, but man mode for us is us getting caught essentially in the false masculine. So what I'm wanting to illustrate here is that the false levels, false feminine, false masculine, is a world of entrapment, of feeling like there's boundaries that hold you inside yourself, that you can't be a fully expressed, authentic version of yourself. And it is only when we learn to, through repetition, through training, through engagement of the feminine arts and skills, through sisterhood, and through mentorship, that you learn how to stand in yourself, stand essentially in your queen. Now, the thing about the false feminine and the man mode parts of ourselves is when we fall into those, we're basically stuck in a whole world of conditioning, of beliefs, blind spots that are keeping us women inside of paradigms of the world that make us believe certain things, okay? For example, they make us believe such things as taking action or acting is the only or the best way of being, or pushing and striving are good things all of the time, or that you can only be successful from this masculine orientation of yourself, or that you have to fight and compete in order to succeed, in order to win, or perhaps that the feminine is weak or powerless, or such things as doing it on your own, working it out on your own is a great thing. Think about that. When we were little girls, little babies, we'd have parents or adults around us saying such things as, "Look, she did it all on her own." So these are just some of the things that I'm wanting to illustrate to you here today for you to think about, as that these things were fact, that these things are real, or the only way of being yourself, right? The only way of thinking, the only way of communicating, the only way of operating, and what I call the only way of doing your life, your lifestyle, and your love or your relationships, okay? You see, the world around us doesn't give any onus, doesn't put any onus on, doesn't give a lot of credibility to feminine things. Yes, they're there in the background, but essentially what we were taught is that feminine things were lesser than, to be suppressed, to be, you put that in the background, because if you want to succeed and you want to be smart and savvy and you want to move ahead in life, you want to reach your goals, all of these kind of things, then you're going to have to damn well toe the line and do it like this. Pushing, striving, do, go, right? And pushing yourself so hard to the level of exhaustion is almost like a merit badge out there, right? So when the world hasn't emphasized such things as out-breath, spaciousness, taking time to digest things that you learn, or taking time to make a decision, that perhaps community success or team success is better than solo success. Things like vulnerability has a power rather than a weakness. That softness doesn't mean being a pushover. And that confidence doesn't mean being pushy or hard or closed. Such things as body confidence, loving your body, feeling it, owning it, really being in this body, what I call your temple in your life. Things like that sexual enjoyment, power, or mastery are in fact your divine right as a woman, and a very strong indication to me that you're actually seated in your power as a woman in feminine power. So I just want you to think about those things for a minute. What's been emphasized, how we've been conditioned, trained, indoctrinated, and some of the things that I just positioned to you there that are very, very different, right? And I want you to feel how your body might be responding to those words. Your body might be going, yes, totally, I'm on board. Some things might be objecting. Some things might be triggered. I may have pushed into some edges there. And I'm wanting you to have an authentic response to that. And in fact, I'd love you to share below, like share in the stream here, how you responded to the what ifs. What if you could be spacious and have out-breath? What if you could be both soft and strong? What if vulnerability was something that felt good and you in fact felt open and transparent and powerful when you allowed yourself to open and surrender and be in the feminine orientation of yourself? What if you could love fully through this body? You could love this body. You could love what this body does for you, that it keeps you awake and alive and vibrant, juicy and healthy, that this body affords you incredible pleasure sexually. And that is the positioning you can be in all of the time, whether you're actually having sex or that you can walk around feeling this juicy, rich, joyful sense of confidence. And what if by getting all of these things, you would then actually discover who you really were, and you discover potentially things like a sense of purpose, a sense of mission, a sense of answering some big inner existential question: why the heck am I here? And how can I help? How can I provide service? How can I be effective from this part of myself. All right, lovelies. If any of you caught up with us and found the new stream, let me know you're there. And let me see if you have any ahas or questions that have already arisen from what I've passed here today. You know, as we're proceeding here, I am asking you these questions because at the end of the day, you're the one that needs to be able to answer those questions. At the end of the day, you're the only one that can answer these questions. I'm asking you these questions in order that you start to feel where your willpower, your feminine willpower, may have been trapped, may have been co-opted, may have been convinced of other things that don't actually feel right to you, that don't actually feel right inside of you, your body, your soul. And when you allow yourself to actually sink down, as I say, feminine power is what's happening from the neck down. And when you learn to feel into yourself through, again, targeted mentorship that actually shows you how to systematically get into your feminine power through what I call the 5 core feminine arts. This is exactly what I teach in the Powerfully Feminine Intensive. And it's a systematic training that helps you to see what blocks, what belief systems are in the way, what conditioning got you where you were, and what you need to do to get where you need to go. And it's not just intellectual training, it's things that you need to discover inside of yourself, and then that you share in sisterhood, and that I continue to provide in terms of mentorship. Now, what ahas have you had so far? Well, it's so interesting. Genevieve asks a question here. How do you balance your feminine if you work corporate and feel like you have had to hide that part of yourself? You know what? We have an incredible woman who's joined us today called Sarah Hale. Sarah, if you are willing to respond to Genevieve whilst we continue here, I'm going to let you respond. I've been corporate. I was corporate for the first 12 years of my career. Sarah is in fact still corporate. And after working with me for many years, she is now totally standing in her queen in a massive international corporation. So Sarah, if you are still with us and you'd like to respond to Genevieve, in short, then let her know. But clearly the thing is, Sarah has been training with me for a while to get to that position. It's possible, is my answer, Genevieve. At the moment, you see, whilst you're in the false feminine or man mode, you have a certain lens through which you're seeing things. You literally can only see what you see now. And what my job here is for you is to say, look, there's a different world ready for you, waiting for you. In fact, your divine right is for you to step up and be in your queen. Whether you're a mother, whether you're a corporate woman, whether you run your own business, whether you're a creative artist, a writer, a screenwriter, a graphic artist, a designer. I was a commercial designer. Ostensibly, that seemed like a very feminine career, right? Commercial interior designer. And yet the truth is, on the inside of that, I was essentially a project manager, and I was dealing with huge corporate accounts, and I was dealing with corporations. You scratch the surface and the whole thing was still a big cover for a big masculine way of doing and being. It wasn't just me, it was the whole system I was inside of. And something was aching inside me. It didn't feel right. But I didn't have any mentorship. I didn't have any woman around me, either in the corporate environment or in my family life or anybody else, saying it can be a different way. It really can be different. And the thing is, the rubber hitting the road piece here, my dear, is about you. And it's about your relationship to your feminine power. It's about you standing up confidently in that. And the thing is, behind your question at the moment, what I hear is, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't know how to stand in my queen. I don't know how to feel what that would be like. And I'm saying that with great compassion, because I've been there too. Sarah's been there too. So many women who are listening to this are going to relate to your question. It's a great question that cannot be answered in one sort of tip or trick fix. It's going to take an immersion, ongoing help, support, sisterhood and mentorship for that to change, right? If you've had 20, 30, 40 years in being stuck in man mode and these belief systems through these goggles and this lens, it's going to take a little bit more than a little text response to change that. And I'm sure you understand that. You're obviously an intelligent, capable woman. All right, do we have any more questions, ahas at this point? I am here for you. I'm here to answer your questions. This is the last of 2 live streams before the masterclass happens next Monday. So just as we're waiting here, do click on the link here. There's a link in the stream. There's a link in the description box. Jump on in and get your spot. There's limited positions inside of the training. Make sure you reserve your spot in order that you also get daily videos sent to you that are going to help juice you up and get you ready for the live stream. Okay, sorry, ready for the masterclass, not the live stream. I want you to jump on in and get as much benefit as you can out of this experience as possible. That's why I'm spending basically over 2 weeks with you in order to educate you, try to fill in some of the blanks, make you understand what's getting in the way, why these things have been problematic for you. And if you have questions, please put them here. You either tell me now or I will come back in and I'll answer them afterwards in the comments below. Okay, so again, I'm drinking Grateful Heart by Mountain Rose Herbs in the Queen Bee mug. I am going to do a competition soon where a number of you get to win a Queen Bee mug. There are only 2 on the planet, right, Sarah? At this point. Sarah earned one, and I'm going to allow some of you others to earn a Queen Bee mug. All right, sometimes I hear you listening intently in the background, but afraid to ask questions. Now, the thing is, we have this concept inside of the Powerfully Feminine Sisterhood, which is the support group for the Powerfully Feminine Intensive Training, which is 1, baby steps. Okay, let there be one little epiphany, let yourself move forward, let yourself understand the terrain that you have been existing in, the beliefs that you've been believing and the conditioning, and do it with impunity. Like, you need to just go, oh, wow, yeah, I relate to that. I've totally been operating in that way. As we say in transformation work, you cannot change what you don't see. So I'm here to illuminate some of the things that you don't see, that you haven't seen, in order that we can move on to the next step, which is the how-to. And I would be betraying your intelligence and your capability to say, I'm going to tell you how to in 3 easy steps. It's just not like that. And in light of some of the myths that we've been told that are true, that faster is better, one of the biggest things I am realizing I need to emphasize again and again for you, that with regard to emerging into your feminine power, faster is not better. What we actually want to do, we want to happen for you, is a immersion. Like, you've been walking in the desert for a really long time and you've just discovered the edge of the ocean. Now, at first you put your toe in the ocean and you've forgotten what the water feels like. It feels unfamiliar. It might feel cold. It might feel wet. Like, what is this wetness on my toes? And yet I personally and the Powerfully Feminine Sisterhood are there to entice you deeper into the water. And then you walk in a little bit more and it doesn't feel so strong against your skin. It starts to feel warmer. It starts to feel more welcoming. It starts to feel more familiar. And you continue to wade forward and you get a little deeper. You get up to your thighs a little bit, and then, ooh, maybe your pussy starts to get wetted by it and go, oh, this feels different. This feels different, right? And then we're going to keep enticing you in, like, keep coming in. You're still only halfway there. And of course, the way I'm saying it now is way more rapidly than it will happen. And then you're going to immerse even deeper, and then you're going to go in, you're going to start to feel it on your belly. And then you might start to feel it as you start to go into the breasts, and you're going to keep wading in. And then you're going to start to realize that you're not just wading in there on your own, that you're wading into waters that have other women there, that are waiting for you, that are helping you, that are encouraging you in deeper and deeper. And then you might end up with the water sort of all over your shoulders and the arms. And it's starting to feel warm and familiar. I know this. I get this. I can embody this thing, this feeling. I can be this feminine being. And then eventually you're going to put your head under the water. You're going to wade in so deep that you're going to actually go under the water. And you know what? You're actually going to realize that you not just breathe under the water, but that you have life here, that this is actually how you're supposed to exist. And when you get underneath that water, that warm water, this feeling, it's like you can feel the water all around you, but it feels really good. And it feels like you. And you're going to realize, whoa, I'm not just now head deep in the water, I'm deep underneath this ocean. In fact, I wonder if I'm kind of am the ocean. I wonder if this ocean is an ocean in which we can all swim. And you're going to discover other beings, other people in there, other women who are also immersed in that ocean. And it's going to feel really good that you're not alone there. And it's one of the biggest pieces that you don't have to be alone. This is not something that you have to work out on your own, which is, remember, is one of the belief systems that we've all grown up to believe, but that you actually can experience this with others and share it with others. And you can occasionally find yourself popping up and going, oh, I need air again. I'm only familiar with breathing air. And then we're going to say, no, remember you had gills. You could breathe. You could breathe when you were here. In fact, you actually felt bigger. You felt broader. You felt this expansion of yourself when you came into the waters. Okay. Lovelies. I think we have... And you know what? We're going to finish up. So sending much love from me to you, and put your comments below. Sending so much love, and I'll answer your questions moving forward. See you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.